give away the color.
Right, exactly, and you should see remnants of charcoal, and you can see it all around you. All right, this is kind of cool, because remember we were at the quarry, I was saying this is a perfect environment for charcoal kilns. And of course, charcoal kilns were used in the iron industry, especially in the northwest part of Connecticut, where you have the iron mines and so forth. And the huge furnaces, blast furnaces, but they would need chunks of charcoal to help maintain the heat in those furnaces. And so they would produce them out here. And the map, this kind of photo is really kind of cool, because what they would do is they would define an area, usually circular, level it off. This has been a little bit landscape. Normally, and I don't see it here, depending on how big this thing is, there's a trough, kind of a small little trough or trench that's built around the edges of the kiln, and that's to help let air get in to maintain the fire. And then they just stack the logs. It's just and they would spend, the colliers that were doing this would come out to a place like this, and they would come out like in April, May, and 3 or 4 guys would live out here until it got cold in October, November, and they would just cut trees, bring them in, stack them, and start burning. And the burning process would continue, and then eventually they would just cart them out for the thing. What you look for if you're going through the woods, and we passed an area up here, and it also was but you look for an area that's flattened out, circular, and you can see some of the dimensions here. It gets a little blurry going upslope, but then you look at the ground, and you should find charcoal. Remnants of small, there you go. That's part of the burning. This is all part of what's kind of the residual that's left here.
All over that tree. That tree is like...
Well, that tree probably wasn't here when they were doing it. It was all cleared and open land. You can see it. See how everything around it? But they would clear everything around it. But this is when you get charcoal like this in a defined area, and they would need it. It would have to be flat. And you're in an area like this that has a lot of topography. They have to artificially make a flat plateau in some cases to maintain the level of the furnace. But they would come out here. And another thing we sometimes see are these little, you can go through the woods near these places, and you'll see little small pilings of stone. In some cases, they were little fireplaces, and they would have huts. That's where they would live, come in and burn. And they may be doing this in other stations around this forest area. But huge industry. Charcoal is a huge industry in Connecticut. And this is what we see left of it.